Something that people just don't get about back pain is it's a very complex type of pain, meaning it doesn't just come from the biomechanical angle. Like, you can change the way you move your spine while lifting or moving, and that may affect the pain, it may help it, but there's a lot more going on. So don't be disheartened if you're pursuing correct technique and all of this and you're still a bit stumped. It's normal, it's how it works. This doesn't mean it's impossible to fix. When you're dealing with pain, you have to look at both the structural or physical or anatomical and the psychosocial. Okay, the psychosocial is really important if you want good long-term pain outcomes. What is psychosocial? Okay, well, it's psyche and social. It's the way you show up for yourself in your environment and the knock-on effects of that. So if you are exceeding the energy you have available because you are trying to please other people, or you are in a role where you don't feel appreciated and you're giving a lot of effort and feeling quite drained emotionally, these factors, for example, will directly affect the levels of inflammation in your body. They will directly affect your emotional states, and your emotions and the inflammation that they can trigger, especially when they're suppressed because you're trying to make sure that you don't ruffle anyone's feathers. These things have an effect on the body. And often with the lower back, we see patterns with job dissatisfaction. It's been studied hugely. It's the highest correlate causal factor. We also see things like suppressed rage showing up as inflammation in the lower back. And so when you're dealing with like a disc issue, you're not just dealing with the disc. Heaps of people have degenerated discs. Life brings wear and tear, especially if you work a physical job. And this wear and tear is actually normal. Sometimes it's associated with pain, sometimes it's not. It's actually quite astounding how many people have structural damage but no pain. And it's quite astounding how many people have severe pain but no evident structural damage on their scans and whatnot. So scans aren't really the best indicator of what's going on. We have to look at total load on the system through all inputs and all outputs. So look at your energy expenditure, look at your stress levels, look at your social patterns, look at how you're feeling at work, look at how you slept, look at the whole picture and start to become attuned to these things. It might seem like a lot to keep track of, but when you're actually in direct relationship with your body and its feedback, this stuff is obvious and it's immediate and you can see what's happening. Now, it took me a long time to notice the difference between being in a subtle fight-flight state or an adrenalized, hyperstimulated state and actually being relaxed. I used to think that being relaxed was just being exhausted after having expended all my energy and finally I would feel peaceful internally. But that's not relaxation and that's not rest, that's just exhaustion. And if you think that you can only rest once you're exhausted, then you'll be repetitively expending your body's energy, its vital energy, its healing energy, and denying yourself the experience of simple, blissful being. When you rest while you have energy, and you learn to smooth out that energy, and you learn to actually hold it and cultivate it within yourself, and trust that it's safe to feel good, then you'll notice all of the patterns that you've had and all of the ways that you've run away from this piece into seemingly healthy activities. I was having a great conversation yesterday with a friend and client. We first started out working together for 1 year, and he's recently started with me again. He used to be a concreter, and so he was pretty hard on his body. He also played footy, and his hip was like giving him a lot of grief. Now, after a couple of years, the improvements in his hip have been dramatic and he's really starting to piece things together physically. But that's also come as a result of his attunement to his body and his emotions, which is like super high level now and growing. I've got other friends who are chippies, carpenters, with lower backs, knees, stuff like that. And the common theme that I see is getting in touch with the needs your body is bringing to you in the moment and actually prioritizing those needs over and above all else. That is what works. As you practice this, it gets clearer. What your body needs becomes clearer. You're able to listen and hear it in an instant rather than needing external feedback, pain or stress or a damaging situation like an injury to highlight it for you. You learn to listen to the tickle of the feather of sensation rather than waiting for the brick and then the bus. You notice how you feel after that thing you just ate and how it's digesting. You notice how that digestion is affecting your mucus production and your breathing. You notice whether your body feels heavy, whether it feels tense. You notice whether you're stuck in a certain emotional loop. You notice where you're running away from that emotion by trying to train harder and do your rehab extra good. All of this stuff, all of the parts of this picture need to be brought in order for any one intervention to really shine for you and to bear fruit. So if you want to learn how to do that, DM me the word float. We're going through a floating spine workshop to sort out lower backs and to look at every layer of the holistic picture. And in this workshop, which will be recorded as well, but I hope you can attend live because it'll be much better, we'll be going through a series of exercises and we'll be detailing the approach to those exercises, how you're breathing, how you're relating to your body, how you're managing tension, how to structure your life around vitality and healing, as well as approach your movement compassionately and therapeutically. All of this stuff will be delivered systematically. You'll have an opportunity to ask questions, to workshop stuff with me while we're on the call together. And so that you don't have to worry about taking too many notes, so you can really drop in and be present, be with your body. I'll give you a handout with all of the key videos and all of the notes. So the value you're getting in this workshop is fucking immense. See you there.